What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 76 of Unfiltered. I'm ChanManV, joined, of course, today with my two co-hosts each and every week, Destiny and Richard. What's going on, fellas?
Lots.
Really?
Be a fair answer. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen any social media the last 5 days or something.
Oh, man. Yeah, definitely.
Holy shit.
Lots of stuff to talk about. Thanks, everybody, for being patient and hanging out most of the day. I know some of you guys we're trying to plan around Unfiltered today, so had a few things going on.
I'm in my witness protection scheme. How's it?
Yeah,
it's not too bad. The internet's not great, but
it's crazy. Have you seen it? We're talking about the Flash retirement, right? Is that?
Oh man, you guys. No, but what we're gonna do today, guys, of course, we're gonna be talking about a topic or two, mainly the DreamHack topic, and then we'll have you guys just call in too, just for the rest of the things, just any other topics that might come up. Steven's had some interesting threads going on too, but you can do that by getting on Discord. It's gonna be similar to last week, guys. Wars GG will basically be picking who's going to be the next person to call in. Subs and patrons will have priority, and again, if you're a subscriber or a patron, make sure you just message WarsGG directly, and he'll do the whole verification thing, and then you guys will definitely get a chance to ask your questions. Here's the link to posted in the chat there. Yeah, there you go. All right, so obviously, a big topic today has to do with DreamHack Winter. Of course, Richard was there, and pretty big incident happened there. But I figured it'd be best to just have Richard really talk about the incident, really get his side of the stories, and just some things have come out today. Hellspawn actually had a tweet longer that kind of spoke about his involvement in, I guess, the whole breaking up of the incident.
Yeah.
So why don't we start from the very beginning? I'll give you a real quick TLDR. Basically, Richard was working the event. He was, obviously hosting the panel like he always does for the CSGO event, and tweeted a joke picture, basically, a picture that's just pretty much a joke picture. And a few people, particularly Kelly, Milkies, and Loda, took it the wrong way. So that ended up resulting in a confrontation backstage at DreamHack between games, I guess, I believe it was, between sets, and resulted in a physical altercation between Richard and Loda. Obviously, there's been some differences in how that incident kind of just what happened during that. But basically, I think security as well as some law officials came in. They talked about it. Everybody agreed that things were cool, and they would just kind of move on with things. And that's kind of how it officially ended. Obviously, there's a lot of details that's what we're going to kind of get into today during the show. And obviously, that Richard's obviously going to be leading the way. But kind of want to have Richard, you generally talk about things, and then I think myself and Steven will probably ask you things, just like specifically. As
do it. So in regards to how this all started, just to be absolutely clear, the sign and all of the talent that were there at the end of the night can verify this. We found it as we were leaving, and it said like Hiko's proud mom or something. I actually kept the sign. I think we're gonna get it framed. And we just found it on the floor, and I said, guys, do you know what'd be fucking hilarious if one of us took this sign, put it on a pillow, took a photo of it, and said, we slept with some groupie last night. Oh no, the obvious joke is it's Hiko's mother. Now I know Hiko, who was in attendance, he was already out of the tournament by this point, and I know his mother's not in attendance, so obviously there's no, if his mother had been there, obviously I don't make the joke. And nobody says, that sign belongs, because nobody knows. We don't know who the fucking sign belongs to. It's a piece of trash on the floor. So we pick it up. And I'm like, anyone want that? And they're like, nah. So I'm like, well, I'm definitely going to do that. I think that's pretty funny. Okay, so take it back home, go to bed, get up in the morning, have breakfast in the lovely Scandic Elmere Hotel, get the buffet in there, you know, go back to my room, take the photo, tweet it out. Now, while I'm getting changed and getting my suit on and getting ready to go over to the venue, there's obviously been a Twitter kind of thing brewing where people are like, whether it's the Dota 2 community or whatever, they know it's Kelly's sign. I do not understand how I can be expected to know this, but apparently I should know who owns every piece of trash I find on the floor. So we do that. I get to the venue and everyone's talking about it. Everyone's talking about fucking, you know, oh yeah, everyone's fucking pissed off. You know, you fucking insulted Kelly, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? I look at my Twitter. It's just blowing the fuck up, you know, just loads of threats and stuff. And of course, one of those is from a guy who I don't even know because, as everybody knows and it's well established, I don't really care about Dota 2. I think I've made that abundantly clear. So I didn't even put two and two together until I clicked on this guy's profile or that he plays for Alliance. Now, even at this point, I still don't get the connection. But then I look at his profile and it says loves Kelly. Like, okay, so why is Kelly pissed off? And Kelly's not pissed off because I've insulted her, apparently. Like, on her Twitter feed, she actually says, why is some 40-year-old loser making jokes about Hiko, a player whose life that he ruined? And that refers back to the I Buy Power story. Now, just to be clear about that as well, for context, she first of all said I was making up the match fixing story on Twitter, and then has never forgiven me because Hiko was set to join the I Buy Power team. And I told Hiko before the ban hammer came down. I warned him. Said, like, dude, if you align yourself with this team, Valve are going to ban them all. So I don't think I ruined his life. I tried to give him as much of a heads up as I could. But Kelly's never let that go, and we don't talk anyway. I don't know her. I don't even know what she looks like. She's just a Twitter presence to me. So anyway, at this point, Loader's obviously asking where I'm going to be. And I said, like, I'm going to be on the CSGO stage. I'm going to be working on stage. What are you going to be doing? Because I knew you'd been knocked out of the tournament the other day. So it was like another dig. It is a little bit provocative. And then he said, like, I'm going to come find you. So at this point, obviously, between maps and stuff, I'm just living in the corner of my eyes, you know, because let's be real, you know, I've been attacked at events before, and I guess we'll talk about that later. I get this sort of shit all the time, and I'm the security at these events is lax. So I'm expecting, like, oh, is someone going to jump me? What's going on? And let's be clear about the backstage area. It's not particularly secure. It's, you know, it's just not. It's fairly open, actually. So I'm worried. I'm worried that, you know, this guy could just come from behind me at any time. I didn't even sit down and relax. I couldn't watch the maps. I'm pretty much on edge because I'm expecting a confrontation. And then I'm thinking, well, fuck it, right? If a confrontation is going to come to you, take charge, you know, choose the venue, choose when it happens, and then at least you've got some control over it. At least, you know, I'd rather face somebody that was coming to get me rather than have them get the drop on me, you know? So I've said, like, why are you keeping me waiting? It's rude, because we've got the first series that's underway. I just want to get it out the fucking way because it's just nonsense. It's just bollocks. So while I'm waiting for fucking Loader to show up, Kelly's come backstage, and apparently, again, anybody can just come backstage, and she's just got in my face, like, while I'm just waiting, you know, while the other map's on. We're having a shouting match, and I like tell her that, you know, I think she's fucking mentally unhinged.
You've seen Kelly before, though, right?
No,
that was literally the first time. This is the first time you've ever seen Kelly Monkeys.
Yeah, literally the first time.
Okay.
So I this is what I mean. I don't know why people expect me to know who these people are. So I just said, you're mentally fucking unstable. I don't give a fuck about anything you have to say. Just get the fuck out of my face. Like, I've got a job to do. I don't want to fucking talk to you. So she starts crying.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, because she was holding her own up until that point, believe you me. So she's crying. And by this point, like, DreamHack staff have been sort of alerted to the nonsense, you know, to the drama. So she runs off, and they're saying to me, what's that about? And I'm like, well, have you seen my fucking Twitter feed? I'm getting fucking threatened and all of this shit, right? And Lauder says he's coming to look for me. So what are we going to do about it? And DreamHack are like, well, you know, it's not acceptable for you to go shouting at people. And I'm like, yeah, but don't you get how stressful this is? That I'm at a DreamHack and I'm working for you. And I'm getting fucking threatened and... You know, I'm like obviously not going to be fucking intimidated, you know. So, well, but why have I got people coming and getting in my face between maps? Anyway, while we're having this discussion, which was mainly a lecture about what was I doing shouting at Kelly, not what was Kelly doing shouting. You know, obviously it's all one-way traffic in the eyes of DreamHack. Loaders comes backstage, makes his presence very known. He had to walk past security to get there. I'm next to two DreamHack staff members, one of which we now know obviously is Hellspawn because he's come out and done his twit longer today. And he just comes and literally, okay, I want you to think about this. So he comes over, and when he's about, I don't know, a year far away, just sort of the distance of where I am to the webcam, he shouts like, what the fuck have you been... So what joke have you made about my girlfriend or something? Because obviously Kelly crying had gone and talked to him, and she was upset. And I'm just like, are you Lauder? And he went, yeah, I'm fucking Lauder. So he's come and he stood here, right?
Wait, what does that mean? I'm sorry, I'm really American. I'm Lauder?
Yeah, I mean, this accent, Richard, is like, we're trying to get used to this accent. All right, so Loda,
what is it?
Loda.
Oh, I'm Loda. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
So he's stood there. And I'm stood there. I'm not going to back down, obviously. You know, I probably should have walked away. I've said this. It's a mistake. So he stood right there. And then he's like shouting some shit at me. And he puts his head like here, right? Now, keep in mind, I haven't got my glasses on, right? Because, you know, I'm expecting to get fucking hit. And, my jaw will fucking heal. But, you know, a new pair of glasses in the middle of Jan Sherpin's going to be hard to get. And I need them to see the monitor. I've took my glasses off, so my eyesight's fucking dog shit in my left eye. I can't read from here to the monitor with it. It's like a bunch of injuries that I've had. And, from boxing and stuff. So, obviously, when his head comes here, my vision's obscured, and it's just too fucking close, dude. It's just too close for comfort. Like, but put it this way, I've worked as a fucking doorman in pubs, and if somebody, if somebody comes that fucking close, the doorman's going to deal with you. They're not going to say, well...
In your space, yeah, I got it.
Yeah, mm-hmm. It's in the space, and it's aggressive. And plus as well, like in the UK... as I'm sure a lot of people will testify to, sometimes you might want to start a fight by just putting your head in and you just give them a little cheeky butt like that on the nose, right? So I don't know what's coming. And I want to make this absolutely clear as well. Because I've never met Lauder, I don't know what he's capable of. I don't know, has he got a temper? Is he a nutcase? Is he a big softie? Is he all mouth and no trousers? I've got no frame of reference. None, right? Mm-hmm. If it was a Counter-Strike player, I'd know everything about them. I'd know whether I can handle it, whether they were fucking dangerous. You know, because I've grown up with the players. So I know, like as I said in my article today, at fucking Cluj, a player threatened me because of something I'd said over a podcast. And got in my face when he was drunk on the last night. So, and nobody took him away. Everyone just watched, of course. So... I'm like, all right, fucking at this point, the head's hit, so I've just grabbed the first thing.
Did he touch you? Did he officially touch you?
Is there like I don't know, like
Yeah.
it's hard to say in the heat of the moment. Like it just felt way too close. Like is it skin contact? Is it his cap that he's wearing? Is it his hair?
His cap.
I don't even fucking know. But it's like something's just triggered me there. Like just touched me, and I've just gone fuck it. I've just put my arms out like that to move the fucking head away. That's it. It's just too fucking close.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Right. So obviously the hands went around the neck. I mean, that's why everybody's saying the choke and everything.
Yeah,
right?
and this is the other thing. First of all, a strangle is when you deprive someone of oxygen. You know, I haven't done that, have I? The whole incident lasted less than 3 seconds. So I don't know how I could have strangled anybody. Strangling is when you deprive someone of oxygen.
Right. You're squeezing their neck. Yes.
Yeah, because I wanted to get his fucking head away from me, so I took control of the head. It's just that I don't know any other way to say it. Like, what would anyone else fucking do? Like,
right.
You know, I don't even understand the debate, because for me, if anybody gets that close to you and is threatening to beat you up, that is that you've got just cause at that point to fucking defend yourself.
Well, I don't think there's any question that, somebody's in your face, that almost the majority of the people would, either push them off, or some people would end up, even possibly, hitting them and that sort of thing. I think what's been, kind of escalated this whole thing was that you choked him. You know what I mean? I think that's what, and obviously that connotation has a different, severity.
Yeah, but this is what I don't understand. Yeah. Again, like if at any point this guy can't breathe, then I'm choking him. Yeah. But he certainly didn't stop talking.
he was talking during the whole thing.
Well, yeah, we were shouting at each other.
Even
if he's talking with your hands on your neck, then you're not choking him.
Yeah, obviously.
We're shouting at each other. Obviously.
So the big discrepancy here, the thing that a lot of people don't understand, is that word choking could mean so many different things. Because when I read that Hellspawn thing, it kind of sounded like you had him on the ground and you were pushing his neck and he was dying. That's kind of what I got from reading.
Just to quote it. It said, "No, Richard grabbed Loda's throat with both hands and pushed him backwards towards the ground while strangling what to me looked very hard."
Did you have? Were you both on the ground when you were doing this?
No, we're nowhere near the ground. We're both just stood upright. I mean, I don't even get where that's come from. I mean, and I'll get into why this has come out today, because I'll tell you about the aftermath, which is way more important actually to the story than what happened.
I was going to get to it, but go ahead. Yeah, go for it.
Right.
Wait. Okay. So just to clarify, I just want to clarify real fast. So you were never on the ground strangling him.
No,
you were both
never.
standing the entire time.
Never. Fuck no. Okay. Fuck no.
When I read Richard grabbed Loda's throat with both hands and pushed him backwards towards the ground while strangling, that makes it sound like you're on the ground, choking him to death. That's what it read like to me.
Jesus. I mean, right, the whole thing didn't even last 3 seconds. I'm literally count 1, 2, it was that was that. Because obviously everyone was like, what the fuck? Because I haven't denied that I initiated this. But obviously I wouldn't have done it if I didn't feel threatened. That's the point. So, and this is what I mean. This is the hilarity of it. In this situation, there's no real way to win. Because...
Yeah, okay, so real fast, for all the fucking retards in chat that are saying, it literally says towards the ground. Okay, as a reasonable person that has no idea what's going on, when I read something that says, and I'm telling you how most reasonable people probably read this, when you read something that says, Richard grabs Loda's throat with both hands and pushed him backwards towards the ground while strangling him, it makes it sound like you guys were on your way to the floor.
I mean, what's towards the ground? That's what I got when I read
There's
kind of verticality.
Yeah, why would you
verticality
say everything
when it comes towards the ground, right? I mean,
so that's when I read that. I think that's a reasonable interpretation of that text. Okay, as somebody that is not.
I think it's
about it, but okay, okay.
So I mean, look, and then obviously everyone splits us apart. And I get took outside, and it's like a one-way door system. And I'm outside, and everyone's like, what the fuck did you just do? You've just fucked everything up. And I'm like, well, what the fuck's this guy doing in my face? I got Kelly coming at me before, so my adrenaline's already high. I'm already expecting to get fucking punched at some point backstage at the event. So I'm obviously on edge. And there it was. The competition was happening. So security have got me. They've got Loda. Then they come over, and they're like, look, okay. Don't say anything about it on social media. Don't mention it. We're gonna keep. Loda's gonna agree to do the same thing. We're gonna keep a lid on it. but this needs to be sorted out. You're going to have to apologize to him. And I'm like, well, obviously, but like, I need to know what the fuck's going on. Like, why? Do you know what I mean? I need to know this guy isn't going to fucking try and clock me one. I just want to do my job. So anyway, there's all this like weird hand wringing going on, and I have to stand outside for about an hour, like just by myself. By the time I come back into the venue, it's all over Twitter, of course. Like, I mean, it's all over Twitter, and I'm like, I thought we were keeping a fucking lid on this. No, we're not. No one's keeping a lid on anything. Lord has tweeted that I've strangled him, unprovoked, of course, completely unprovoked. Like, you know, not I went looking for a fight, got in someone's face, and then someone put their hands out to stop me doing that, which would have been a fair summary. He said, you know, and he admitted this later when we talked, you know, it was the heat of the moment. He was pissed off. He didn't have the better of the physical altercation, so he wanted to fucking wreck me on social media, which is fine. And then something that he apologized for later. So anyway, the police come because Lauder said he wanted them called. And they come and they take a bunch of eyewitness interviews. And again, there was a few witnesses that caught the back end of it, which verified I didn't fucking choke him till he couldn't breathe, didn't push him on the floor. And so what I thought the DreamHack guys would have told that version. I can't vouch for Hellspawn. Obviously,
the official statement made it sound like you guys resolved it with, you know,
officials. But that's what I mean. So this is the super annoying thing. And again, I'll get into all this later. I talked with DreamHack today, and obviously we knew we weren't going to work with each other anymore as a result of it. I get that. I also get as well that they feel they have to come out and say, we won't hire Richard again, and we'll distance ourselves from him. I get that also. Of course you have to do those things. We talked about the statement they were going to release. And I said, that's fine. It is fair to say that within the terms of the physical contact, yes, I was the person who initiated it and escalated it. I think that's a fair comment. I think that is a fair comment. And I've not denied it, and that was fine. And then I thought that would be the end of it. And they even said to me, we're not looking to Streisand affect this any more than it already has. So I was like, okay, fine. Okay.
To be fair, I think you might have stirred things up a little bit on Twitter more than maybe they had to be.
Well, hang on, I'll get into that, right?
Okay.
I mean, at the beginning of it, or you mean like the end?
No. At the beginning of it, I don't know. I mean, even if I did say, come backstage and let's have a fight, you cunt, which it didn't. But even if I did say that, you shouldn't be. There should be security there, and give it. And I've said that. Oh, by the way, this guy's looking to fight me, and you've just seen me arguing with his girlfriend.
Yeah, I mean, so, I don't disagree that like you are working for them this weekend. So I mean, they should be particularly, you know, from a security standpoint, protecting you, right? I mean that should be the case with the talent. I mean, I would. No,
but I mean, again, look, here's the thing. Here's how you can't win. Because if I say, oh, why didn't security protect me? It's like, haha, Richard Lewis is a faggot, and you get that just rammed down your throat, right? And obviously, I can look after myself. But then it's like, well, why didn't you let security intervene? It's like, well, look, guys, here's the reality. When you're at an event and you're working with somebody, people shouldn't be able to get in your face when you're trying to do a job for them. It's just as simple as that. Obviously, some people are going to be pissed off with things that I say and do. And this has been notorious. I've been assaulted at events before. I've been assaulted when I've done mainstream journalism jobs. This fucking scar on my head here, right, is from an interview with a Tom Jones impersonation band.
Oh, God.
Right? No, I'll tell you about that, right? Interviewing this Tom Jones impersonator, and he's made me jump through hoops all night. This is back when I was a music journalist. Made me jump through hoops all night to get the interview, and there's this female manager that I've had to go through the entire time. And I said, oh, well, finally we get to do the interview. You know, your manager's been very helpful. And I was recording it on a dictaphone, and one of the drummer or something's gone, oh, that's not a manager, that's some girl he's fucking on the side. And then this guy's gone, can I get that tape off you? And I'm like, well, no, because I've got a whole interview on it. I promise I won't mention that you fucking anyone. And then this guy's clocked me over the head with a hammer to steal my dictaphone. So you can't, fucking, yeah, no, it's just ridiculous, right? Isn't it? Like, you can never drop your guard, even in, seemingly fucking safe circumstances. Anyway, so after the police come, and I'm like, so what's going on, officer? And they're like, well, we spotted some eyewitnesses. Apparently there was a fracas. And I'm like, yeah, there was a fracas. And he went, so how would you describe it? And I said, look, honestly, he came to me. He was very much in my personal space. His face was a little bit too close. It was brushing against my face, and I pushed him away with my hands round his neck to control what he was going to do with his head. Because, I panicked a little bit and thought he might headbutt me. And the police officer said, was there any provocation? So I showed him the whole Twitter exchange. Police officer said to me, right, and keep in mind, the police officer doesn't even know what fucking Twitter is and doesn't have his own Twitter account.
Right, of course.
And he said, of course, right? But he said, I can understand how you would interpret those as a threat. And I went, okay, fine, right. And I said, am I under arrest? And I honestly, at this juncture, the way it's all panned out PR-wise, I probably would have rather been arrested.
This is in between matches, too? All of this?
Yeah.
Was there an extended break during that? I don't even remember there being like a long break.
I think there was like some slight delay due to some other shit. But anyway, so 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 the copper goes, you're absolutely not under arrest. He's filed an accusation of assault. There's enough here to suggest it was self-defense. We're going to file the report. They took my details, said they'll be in touch with me, but they said they saw no reason to arrest me, no reason to detain me, and they said most likely this would get filed in, quote, the waste bin, end quote, because it's silly. It was nonsense. Now, after the interview with the police, I turned to the DreamHack guys and I'm like, look, the police don't even think this is a fucking big deal. Can we just fucking draw a line through it? I said, even if it's on Twitter, I said, look, I'll do what I need to do to sort this out, a fucking apology. We can play this down. And as I'm doing that, they let me back into the venue, and Lauder's there. Like, okay. And I'm like looking at him.
One thing to real fast, I guess, I don't know how it works in Sweden, but in the United States, if an assault, because I see some people saying this, in the United States, if you physically assault somebody and it's witnessed by a third party, it doesn't matter if somebody presses charges or not. Like, you still get arrested for that. And the prosecution can actually force the witness.
In the UK, you don't need any witnesses at all. You don't need any witnesses.
But now I say that hesitantly because I don't know how it works in Sweden. But in the United States, if I'm outside and somebody watches me beat the shit out of somebody, or somebody beats the shit out of me, and then at the end we're both like, oh no, we don't want to press charges against each other. Somebody still gets arrested. You'll still get arrested in that case, whether or not somebody wants to press. Because some people were saying like, oh well, the only reason Richard Lewis didn't get arrested is because DreamHack or Lotus said they didn't want to press charges or whatever. Yeah. Sorry. Okay, go ahead.
So they've not arrested me. They've not detained me. They've just interviewed me. I'm back in the building. Lauder's there. I'm looking at him. He's looking at me, and I'm like, look, mate, I'm fucking sorry I grabbed you, yeah, but you did come fucking awful close, and your face was here, and I thought you were just gonna hit me, so I just fucking reacted. And he went, I'm not a violent person. And I went, right, but you said you were going to beat me up. And he went, well, I didn't say that directly. I went, well, it was heavily fucking implied. And he went, you can ask anyone, right? And I went, mate, I've got a split second to make a decision. Like, I haven't got time to like, oh, just 1 second, mate. Can I just, yeah, Hellspawn, is he violent? Can I, you know, it was a split second things. So he was like, okay, I get that. I said, you have to understand, I don't know who the fuck you are. Like, I don't know anything about you. And he went, well, you know, I guess. And so we're talking now. It's pretty fucking genial, all things considered. And he deleted some tweets and stuff. And I said to him, I said, look, mate, I'm real fucking sorry about all of this. But you've wrecked me on social media. Like, you've really fucking, I don't, you know, you've won that round. Like, no argument about it. And he said, I'm sorry. I probably shouldn't have took it on Twitter. And we literally shook hands. And I said, like, I'm real sorry, man. Like, let's just fucking move on. Anyway, at this point, then we go over, and DreamHack are like, well, we've now got a choice. And the choice is that we have to either throw both of you out, or we just get to a place where everything's good and you still can't do the broadcast, but you can stay in the building. And I'm like, again, that's just going to make it even worse if I don't go back on air. And they were going, well, how do you feel about the Lauder thing? Like, do you want him out the venue? And I'm like, no, of course I don't. I want him to just enjoy whatever he's here to do and me to do whatever I'm here to do. I just want to leave it. And they were like, well, it's not, there's no option. It's like, and I'm like, there has to be. So Face It said, we want Richard to finish the show. And then this dragged on and we did it, right? We just did the show. So I go back on for the next 2 maps or whatever it was. And when I come off, DreamHack said he want to put a statement out. And I'm like, okay, fair enough. And they're like, we've all got to agree on it. And I'm like, right, fine. So they went away, they wrote it up, they showed it to me. And I was looking at it and I was like, okay, it's a bit wishy-washy, but, all right, I'm happy to put my name on it. And they were like, well, you've got to, basically. You've got to, or, you can't go back on air again. I'm like, I thought we were all past that. So we agreed to I agreed to the fucking statement that DreamHack want to put out. And then for some reason, Lauder doesn't want to. Like, he's gone away and he's actually upset again. And I don't know why. So DreamHack sent people to his hotel room to meet with him to find out what he was upset about. And he wanted me to agree in writing to not talk about it when I got back, ever, to not mention it, to not put my side out, ever. He was like, and he was adamant to DreamHack that this cannot happen. I can't be allowed to, he's got his version out, and I've been made to look like a fucking awful human being, for a flashpoint, and I'm being told I can't say anything about it. So DreamHack called us on the phone, and I got given the phone, and they were like, "Would you agree? Would you agree to not speak about it when you get back, and would you put it in writing?" And I went, "No fucking way, no fucking chance. Like, that's never gonna happen." And they were like, "Well, Lauder need to feel secure. Lauder needs to do that." And I'm like, "All right, well, I'll just tell him that then." And the person, and again, I won't name the DreamHack staff member, but the person I was talking to was saying, I wouldn't agree to that either. And I'm like, well, yeah, fuck no. Why would I? So anyway, Lauder wanted to come and talk to me again. And I was like, come on, this is just getting ridiculous. This is getting fucking ridiculous. This is a tiny fucking scuffle that's getting fucking blown about of all proportion. And we're having all these meetings and stuff. We should just do the show. We should just do the fucking show. And anyway, he calls me up on the phone. Give me the phone. I'm talking to Lauder, right? And DreamHack asked me to persuade Lauder to agree to the statement that went out. So I'm like, okay, fine. Obviously, let's do that so we can all move forward. So I spent like 20, 25 minutes on the phone with Lauder, and I'm like, look, brother, I've got no desire really to fucking talk about this ever again. But I wasn't the guy who brought it to social media. I wasn't the guy that made it public. I wasn't the guy that came backstage spoiling for a rumble. None of that's on me, right? Yeah, I've acted really fucking stupidly in the heat of the moment. I've made a bad judgment call. I probably should have realized it's esports. No one's really gonna fucking attack me, are they? I probably should have clocked that. But you don't know when it's people that you're unfamiliar with. So we're talking on the phone for 20, 25 minutes. And again, at the end, we're all fucking genial. And I'm like, again, sorry, look after yourself. Like, seriously, I even said that. Like, someone like, look after yourself, brother. Put the phone down like I was talking to an old mate. It's so surreal. So he agrees to the statement. DreamHack go, thank you, Richard. And I'm like, okay, cool. So the statement goes out. Now, unfortunately, after everything, so we close out the night, we finish the show, Face It coming, they're saying, look, we were never going to let you get took off the stream. You have to realize, though, you did act like a bit of a douche. This is all drama. You got to fucking, think about it more moving forward, right? And, if someone gets in your face, you've got to utilize the security, even if it's not natural to you to do so. That's what you have to do. So I'm like, yeah, of course, man. Like, the last thing I want to do is fuck up the show Always. It's all about the show. That's all I give a fuck about. Like, no matter people can watch that broadcast, you wouldn't have known anything was going on. Yeah, right? It's all about the show. That's all I give a fuck about. Whenever I go to these events, and there's been so much stuff going on behind the scenes at other events, and specifically other DreamHacks, and it never shows on the camera because the show is fucking sacred. It's paramount. It's what everybody sees and enjoys. So that was what I was most regretful about, that this could have impacted the show in any way. Fortunately, it didn't, and we finished the show. Anyway, we get back to the hotel, and I'm spending some time with the fans, and obviously they're strangling things out there. Some fans made a sign saying, "Richard Lewis, please don't strangle me," right? And it's gone out on stream. And I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was quite funny. But DreamHack staff came in at the time, and I didn't think anything of it. And they went, "We're really sorry that went out on stream." And I went, "What?" And they went, "The strangling sign." I went, "I don't care. I'm all right with it. I'm at ease with all of this at the moment." Anyway, on the way out, they came up to me. And they were like, "Oh, you know, how you doing?" So I was like, "All right, let's do some photos." So we took some photographs and hanging out with all the fans and shaking and, you know, signing T-shirts and stuff. And they went, "Could we get one of you choking us? Because we think it'd be funny." So I'm like, "Yeah, all right, I'll do that. I don't mind. I love the boys, right? Like, you know what I mean? That's the first thing I've laughed about all that day." So do a fake choke on one of the fans, like just trying to make light of the situation because it's just so ridiculous. It's just been so overblown. And then we tweeted out, and DreamHack was so fucking angry about that. They were so angry about it. Mm-hmm. They were literally so angry about it. And that was when I knew that this was never going to be resolved amicably. Like, we were fucked from that point. Like, we just absolutely fucked. And I get it. You know, I do get it. That obviously it's inappropriate behavior. I think some sort of sanction could have been put in place. You know, I could have waived my fee. I could have come out and done a public, but like none of this was discussed. Like, it just, I think once we started joking about it, like it just rubbed DreamHack the wrong way, basically. And I was keen to just have a laugh about it, you know.
Yeah.
Like, as far as I was concerned, me and Lauder were sorted. And here's the thing. As I have said multiple times, I don't have a problem with Lauder. If I saw Lauder now, I'd buy him a beer and just fucking forget about it. It's just not a big deal. Like, he's a fucking grown-ass man. He's 27. I don't think he's got any ill will. He hasn't been tweeting. He hasn't been driving the agenda. Yeah? I don't want any of my fans or anything like that to harass him. Right? Like, he did what he felt was right in the heat of the moment. He thought his girlfriend had been slighted. And yeah, it's a bit silly to go all white knight. But again, I'd be lying if I said I'd never done that in my life. I'd be lying if I said I'd never said that someone had insulted my girlfriend and I got aggressive with them. Because I have done that in my life. I have. Mm-hmm. I'm sure a lot of people have. So I don't even blame him for the initial, for even the confrontation ultimately. He walked the path he felt he had to walk. That's fine with me. And it went the way it went, and that's that. And I respect him for it. Ultimately, I would have rather he didn't go on social media, but I've got nothing against him. Literally zero, nothing against him. And also, as well, and I'll say this, you know, I know Kelly's a divisive figure. I don't have to like her or respect her to understand some of the fucking hate she gets. People putting out pictures of her in compromising situations and stuff, and all the things that get said about her. It's no wonder they were super defensive and knee-jerk. You know? Plus, Lord is a divisive character in his own right. He went out of a tournament yesterday. He's been getting shit on social media for 24 hours, something I can identify with. So again, I'm not fucking... There's no long-lasting grudge from me to him. But what I'm disappointed about is that I feel there wasn't enough done in the situation to prevent an altercation, even though I had made it clear one was likely. And then this stuff today, because I wrote about it, like, I get back and Breitbart are like, obviously, you know, my employers have obviously seen about it. And they're like, well, you know, you should probably write something and clear the air. And I'm like, I'd really rather not. I'd really rather not write about it because I think it'll stir it up again. And even though I've lost the battle of the PR, I'd rather just leave it there. Actually, I think it'll just be inflammatory. But they wanted me to write. You know, they wanted me to write about it. So okay, I'll do that. And obviously it's Breitbart, right? So we do it in a Breitbart way, you know. So I'm comparing myself to fucking Jeremy Clarkson and the Kim Ellie. You know, it's just a bit of light-hearted fun, really. And obviously this is super fucking pissed. I even told DreamHack I was going to write it. I said whatever agreement got made on the phone, I'm going to have to renege on it because I'm going to have to write this article. So I wrote it, and again, I don't get why people have been so upset. These people have wrote the entire paragraph, and yet they're getting upset about me writing the full stop. And you know, the version Hellspawn's put out today, it's worse than the version Loader even told. I mean, it's just so over the top. So this is like, you know, at this moment in time, it just feels like a fucking pile on, you know.
Well, I'll throw it out there. If Hellspawn or Loda want to come on and talk about this, then, you know, you guys are free to. Just definitely message me. I've reached out to Christian too, and he just, you know, hadn't responded. I kind of reached out.
I don't think there's no reason for either of them to ever.
Yeah,
why
so
would
they're not
talk
going
about
to.
it? They didn't lose anything here.
I'm just going to throw it out there though. If they want to, they can. But yeah, I don't see them coming on here. It doesn't really accomplish much.
So I guess like in terms of me looking at everything, I mean, like the biggest thing, and I'm happy that like at the very least, like you realize that you do realize you fucked up pretty bad, right, Richard? Right, like there was a lot of.
Well,
in terms of like making it physical, and in terms of like constantly drawing it out on Twitter, I don't think like you helped your case at all. Like
I don't know, but here's the thing: I also resent the implication, this idea that I've somehow drawn it out on Twitter. I didn't tweet in the aftermath of the event because I was asked not to. I respected that. I didn't tweet until the next day of the show finishing, and I just said like I felt a little bit down with how it had all been handled. And I don't know if I could work with DreamHack again as a result of that.
Okay, because it felt like when I was reading, it felt like there were like 700 tweets that you made.
No,
like,
this is bullshit.
And, like,
you can look at my timeline.
Yeah,
you look at my timeline.
Let's take a look here.
What I did do was retweet all of the abuse. Well, not all of it, just the best bits. All of the abuse and threats I was getting.
Okay, I did see that. I did see you like retweeting other people, whatever.
Yeah.
So what was the date that this happened? Was this like was this on the 29th or the 30th? Was it on Sunday or?
That's 28.
Must have been.
Right? It was.
Yeah. The incident happened on the 28th.
Yeah,
and then
the incident happened on the 28th.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was the Sunday when I tweeted when I traveled back. So, you know.
Well, when you tweeted what? I mean.
Just that I was disappointed with how, before I got in the car to travel to the airport, I just tweeted, just a bit disappointed with how it's all panned out, you know. So that's all there is to it, really. And this idea that I went on like some mad Twitter rampage, it's just more spin and bullshit. People are saying it, but there's nothing to actually substantiate what they're saying. And this is because, of course, because I haven't shown contrition and because I haven't really like bowed the knee to the mob and apologized and debased myself. Obviously, you know, every time you refuse to do it, they come back at you harder and harder. And it's, you know, this is like the Raheem situation all over again, which was again a complete nonsense. It had no bearing in reality whatsoever. So you know, this is just what happens when one of these things flare up. And yeah, this is by far the worst. And obviously, I admit my fucking fair share of fault in it. I think once you put your hands on someone, obviously. So you're going to get criticized for doing so. I think.
I feel like so. Just looking at, I feel like you were tweeting a lot on the 28th.
Well, that was when Lotus came out, right? Lotus tweeted on the 28th too. So a lot of it had to do with respond. So
okay, I'm looking at like there's probably like 50 tweets here. I think that you made on like the 28th.
This I guess all during the event too, which is crazy.
No, but I mean, on the 28th, that was when me and Lord were having the back and forth, I think.
Was it? So this happened the night of the 28th?
Yeah. That was when... No. That
he
was
probably
when...
tweeted pretty...
I feel like this happened after the encounter. If someone pushes their forehead into my nose, I will remove the head from my space. I feel like this happened... Basically, yeah. I guess what I'm basically saying is like I feel like there was quite a bit of tweeting in the 28th. I feel like you didn't help your corner, I guess.
Well, yeah, but I mean, again, so if this is the fucking classic, isn't it? It's like I said today, the narrative gets spun by those who write the first sentence. And what? So,
Yeah, but I
so
think, do you think
the
that
guy,
maybe
the guy who specifically took it to social media, like no one's judging him, but I've replied to it to get my version across, and I'm the
do you
bad
think
guy.
to some extent you might have like Streisand affected yourself though by tweeting so much about it? Because there's a lot of tweets here about it.
He's got a bigger reach than me.
Well, I mean, the response to that tweet, I mean, I can't really blame Richard for that. It's pretty hard to restrain yourself. Like, looking back at it and just, 2020 hindsight type of thing, not responding to it probably would have been the best thing to do. But I think 95% of people would not have restrained themselves from replying to that tweet. But to Steven's point, a lot of the retweets of the joke pictures, right? I mean,
well, no, I'm not even talking about the retweet. I'm saying like on the 28th, there was a lot of like tweeting in regards to everything that happened.
I mean, defending yourself. I mean,
as sick as it sounds, I mean, sometimes you can't because
I know. Well, I get that, but it's understandable that he defends himself in that. And
so I guess like in looking at all of this, so what did we talk about last time? I like to I'll shit on Richard Lewis if he's like martyring himself super hard because I enjoy doing that because I like bands. But so like I guess like my biggest problem with all of this is that like this is like ignoring like I guess legality aside, because like as legally if you hit somebody like you're always fucked. The first person hits somebody. Yep. In terms of like I guess like ethically or morally or like what's actually going to happen, if you run up to somebody and you get in their space, you're going to get laid the fuck out, and it's always going to happen, and no reasonable person is going to feel good or feel bad for you. Like that's just what the fuck happens. Like if I was tweeting, like this is kind of what has me so irked or whatever. Like personally, I think Richard fucked up pretty hard in attacking him, and I think that all of the tweeting I think fucked you really hard too. I mean, this is coming from me who's been Twitter fighting all weekend, so I mean I can't really. I mean, like I can criticize you. I'd probably do the same thing, but like I guess like the big problem I had with this is that Loda has like terminal fucking autism if he didn't expect something to happen. Like if you're getting into fights with somebody on Twitter and things are really fucking heated and then you show up and you get in their face, that's not that you're heading for a physical altercation there. Like that's what's going to happen. You're going to get fucking laid out. Like, or you have to be ready to fucking fight. Like that's, I don't understand how somebody can go to somebody when you've been bantering on Twitter. And then when you're both like antagonizing each other, which is another thing you fucked up in Richard, when you kind of like antagonized him more when you didn't show up immediately.
Well,
right?
Yeah, you did
but when you show up.
Yeah, but I'm explaining that again.
He's explaining it, but.
Sure. You right. Put it this way: it's like
I know. I'm just saying that like.
Do you wait for them? Do you wait for them?
Well, I mean, like in my personal opinion, like I think like de-escalating is always the best choice. You want to de-escalate something like this as much as possible, because if you escalate it, then basically nobody wins in any kind of physical altercation ever, right? There's no winning for anybody here, right? There's no other. As soon as Loda goes looking for you, it's just a room full of losers at that point. You're going to lose your relationship with DreamHack. Loda could lose his relationship with sponsors. DreamHack loses on bad publicity. Literally everybody loses as soon as things there's no winning for anybody when a physical altercation happens.
Well, again, I disagree. I think these things actually happen a lot. In fact, I've been assaulted at a DreamHack event.
No, yeah, and I'm not saying whether or not they happen or not. I'm just.
And I mean,
there's no way you can possibly disagree that this is a losing. Yeah, but there's no way you can possibly disagree that this is a losing scenario for every single person.
No. Yeah, absolutely. But the problem isn't that it happens. The problem is obviously that it gets plastered all over social media. That's the problem.
Sure. Well, which is always a possible outcome from any kind of physical education, like especially if you're a very public person, like it can always happen. But I guess I feel like Loda shares just as much. I want to say just as much, if not more. Like if you had reversed this story a little bit, I think people would literally be calling for Richard's head. If Richard had seeked out Loda and then choked him, I think that people or choked or whatever, like got escalated into a physical altercation, like people would have freaked the fuck out. But the fact that Loda like went seeking Richard Lewis and then acted all like cocky and aggressive and shit like in front of him, like that's pretty fucking retarded, mate. That's pretty fucking stupid. Like at that point, like you're pretty much showing up for a fight. You have to realize that. If you don't realize that, then you need to either bring like I don't know. I mean, Sweden has a lot of social programs. Maybe you can get like a helper, like a caseworker or somebody to like follow you around to make sure that you're not acting like a fucking retard. No. I'm serious. Like, you just don't do that. Like, I think that any reasonable, maybe like if you're in esports and you've only been doing esports your whole life and you have like no perspective outside of fucking video games, like maybe you don't understand that, but you can't talk a fuck ton of shit to somebody and then show up in person acting all fucking cocky and expect not to get laid the fuck out. Like, you can't do that. And anybody outside of fucking video games would understand that. You can't do that. It's so fucking stupid that you would talk you would talk so much shit and ban on Twitter and then show up in person and act like that. Like, that's so fucking stupid. Like, you have to understand how fucking stupid that is.
And the thing is as well, obviously tempers are already high because I've just had these fucking misses.
Yeah, which is why, like, in your position, like, the best thing probably would have been to just duck out, like, to chill the fuck out, wait like a day or whatever. Because, like I said, like, as soon as
the beauty of this is there's nowhere to fucking duck out. Like, the green room isn't really a green room.
I don't know. Maybe security should have been alerted. Maybe Loda. I don't know why the fuck Kelly's allowed back there. Or there's a whole line of jokes you can make down that way, but we're not going to go down there. But like, yeah, I don't know like what the security situation was like or whatever. But I would say that Loda shares just as much responsibility for everything that happened, if not more, because he seeked you out in real life. Like, that's pretty fucking stupid.
Here's the thing. I see this.
If anybody, and then for ChanMan, are we doing when we do call-ins? Like, if anybody disagrees, I will gladly call you a fucking retard. I'm telling, like, so if you're on the fence about this, I guess I'll just tell you, if you've never done anything outside of fucking video games like this, I figure this would be common sense, okay? If you talk a whole bunch of fucking shit to another person, okay, and they're a physically capable person, and then you show up in real life and you continue to act cocky, you're gonna get your fucking ass beat, and it's gonna happen every fucking time, and nobody in that area is gonna feel bad for you. Everybody is gonna say, wow, what a fucking idiot, he had it coming. I don't know if there's like some people in chat that don't understand that, but that's how it's going to work out every single fucking time, all right? Talking shit to people, whatever, on Twitter is one thing, but if you talk a fucking ton of shit to somebody on social media and then you show up in person, you're gonna get your fucking ass beat every fucking time. Like, everybody should understand this. This is pretty fucking common sense. But all right, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, like, you know, it's fucking. I think it's 50-50. I mean, you know, we obviously wanted to settle our fucking differences, and you know, it's like I say, it's all predicated on a misunderstanding, which is why I can move past it, and I'm pretty sure Lauder has. I don't, you know.
Yeah.
None of this is coming from him, as far as I can tell.
Yeah,
you know, all of the backlash today. This is all about the fact that I wasn't right. Nobody wanted me to just be like, haha, Clarkson, and like rizzle, dizzle my way out of it, and just be like, in a week we're not talking about it. People didn't want that. People obviously wanted, you know, me to get fucking wrecked, and that's why this is still going on. So that's fine. You know, here's the thing. There's obviously a lot of people you'll notice, you know, from the chat and everything else. You know, obviously there's a lot of people who they don't think they've had a pound of flesh yet. Obviously, DreamHack have said they're never going to hire me again. Now, that I think that should be enough, right? That's like, and I think about all the work I've put into DreamHack. I mean, and all the times I've you know had at DreamHack and all the people that I've met through DreamHack. I mean, I think that's a pretty sizable punishment, especially in light of the fact that Loda has had little more than a verbal warning. And even though under their very zero tolerance policy, he's violated it, you know, by being aggressive and seeking out trouble. But again, that's fine. That's their decision to make. What I don't understand is, like, where do people want this to go in the aftermath? Like, how much more do I have to do? I've apologized to Loda. We've settled our differences. I've apologized, you know, publicly for what I've done. Yeah, I wrote up a light-hearted article about it that described, you know, the original joke as top bants. People, you know, don't seem to like that for whatever reason. But the point is, like, I don't see what people want next. And this is what I mean. It's like, because I'm not coming out and like weeping and wailing and, you know, supplicating myself and like, please. I'm not like that. The end of fucking Game of Thrones where everyone's just like shouting shame and smearing me and shit and waving their cocks at me. Because I'm like refusing to do that. Obviously, it's got everyone even more fucking triggered, and people want their fucking pound of flesh.
All right, so
it just seems a bit ridiculous at this point.
Well, Robert one's on.
Robert Olin.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't even know. Is this relevant?
I mean, coming from the guy that this should be
Jesus
interesting.
Christ.
Do you want
Wait,
to
is
or
this
no?
relevant?
No.
I feel like it's gonna turn into a
unfiltered.
huge
It's
show. I feel
unfiltered.
like, well, because we have so I have no stake in either of this. It all fuck shit on Richard, and I do think Richard acted really dumbly.
Yeah.
But Robert could have a bone to pick with DreamHack. I feel like it's not very fair. I don't know. I feel like this is going to become a huge shit show if he gets on. I love Robert, but
Well,
it's up to you. I mean, you're the fucking host, man. I guess I'm just here. I feel like it's.
I think we should listen to see what he says, and then I'll pull the plug on Robert.
Well, because he literally has no perspective. Because he wasn't there at all. Like, I don't understand. Okay, never mind. Good luck. It's all you.
Let's see it. Let's see. Here we go. Robert, you there? Oh, I can't hear him anyways. Hello?
If he's anything like me, he's probably struggling to use this
What?
this program.
It's pretty easy to use. That's the whole point. It's like super easy to use.
I don't know.
All the young kids,
You just have to unmute, dude. So I guess so in the end, you'll never be working for DreamHack again, or at least in the foreseeable future. Is that the deal?
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
What's up?
Oh.
So what I was saying is that are you not going to be working with
No.
DreamHack for the foreseeable future? Oh, there we go.
Well, dude, it's not going to be the foreseeable future. I mean,
Forever.
obviously, the way this has all been set up, sadly, it's going to be forever. But it's like I alluded to earlier. It's not like there wasn't already some issues there behind the scenes. Anyway, I don't want to get into that because I don't think it's relevant to the issue, and I don't want to obfuscate the issue.
Right.
But let's just say it wasn't an exactly happy camp before this occurred. Anyway.
Yeah.
That would be
All right.
the fairest way of putting it.
All right, Robert.
True.
All right.
Yeah.
Your take on this, but no, not too much DreamHack bashing here, okay? Or else I'm gonna have to be.
No. I'm just here to say that Richard is a bellend.
Yep, that is
Yes.
true.
Yes.
I mean,
well,
a bell end. It's
Yeah,
the
he is.
trunk of a penis.
And I know him, but I also know that certain